Hello there, welcome to the EduFil. I'm Dr. Niaz. Today we will discuss proposal development part 4, how to write chapter 3 and the proposal development. In the chapter 3, after introduction section, we have to explain the research design. We must write that whether our research is qualitative or quantitative, and we must describe the detail of the research and that what type of research is this, how the data will be collected, and what will be the population and what will be the sample size, etc. So the holistic design should be described here. And the slide number 3, it is the second part of the chapter 3 in the proposal development. We have to describe the research process. For example, if you remember in the first video of the proposal development, we have discussed already there. First of all, we should go to the literature review to select a research title. The same process has been written here for the comprehension purpose. For example, first we have to go to the literature review. After that, we have to identify the research problem or finding the research gap. After that, we have to go to the research questions and objectives, and then the theoretical framework, and then to the conceptual framework. These all were discussed in the chapter number 1. The video that expressed the part 1 of the proposal development is based on this stage 1 of the research process. And the stage 2, as you can see in the slide of the research process, we have to go to the tool development, then phase validity, then pilot study, then target population for data collection, and then to find out the reliability, and then how to conduct the actual study, and how to collect the data from the target population, and whether the data will be primary or secondary, and how to analyze the data, and how to validate the research framework or conceptual framework that had been already described in the chapter number 1. And the research process, stage 3, which is not in fact the part of the proposal development, but after the data collection and data analysis, when we are going to develop the original, how to get the results and how to discuss as chapter 5. The results we gave in the chapter 4, and in the chapter 5 we discuss and conclude those results based on the data collected. In the chapter 3, after describing the research design and the research process, as you have already seen on the different slides given and discussed, we must go at 3 number, the population. Sometimes the students wrongly write the population as, for example, when they are going to collect data from the teachers in the schools, they write in the population section the number of schools as population, which is totally wrong. In fact, the population are the persons from whom we have to collect the data and from whom we have to choose the sample size. So if as we have proposed in the first video of the proposal development, the population of the study will be the teachers of the secondary schools. So we might write here the total number of the secondary school teachers in the population section. At 4 number, we must give the sample size and sampling procedure. For example, what scale do we use to select the sample size, and what will be the method of sampling selection? For example, if I use the Cressy and Morgan table, then I have to give the number of the sample teachers here, that, for example, if the population of the teachers is 4,000 and according to the Cressy and Morgan table 250 number is given as the sample size for the population of 2,000 teachers, I might write here that the sample of this study will be 250 teachers of secondary schools and the district blah blah blah. Similarly, I have to explain, the researcher have to explain the sampling procedure. That sample will be selected. For example, mostly we use the random sampling technique. Sometimes we use stratified random sampling, and sometimes we use cluster sampling, sometimes we use purposeful sampling. So we have to choose the method of procedure of sampling here in this section. At fifth number, we have to discuss deeply the instrumentation, that how the instrument was developed, that all the parts of the conceptual framework are present in the instrument. For example, as we have selected already the instruction leadership, the school culture and school effectiveness, so it might be shown in the instrument and different items should be given if the data is quantitative. The number of variables and the number of items for each variable and scale against each item should be given in the instrument. For example, sometime the researcher use five choices like at scale, some uses 7 choices like at scale, some uses 9 choices, some with 3, and even some use 2 choices, that is yes or no. So it depends on the researcher choice and it depends on the nature of the data. After the instrumentation, the face validity should be described, that how it will be explained in the research. For example, if the instrument is developed by the researcher, the questionnaire might be sent at least 2 experts in the field for face validity. Sometimes he or she might suggest for some items that these should be deleted, for some items it should be repressed, and for some items it should be kept as it is written. Different situations may be received as a response from the experts. So the first developed questionnaire or tool, and after the changes as the tools, for example, firstly, if a researcher select a tool with 70 items, and after the face validity and acting upon the suggestions by the experts, if the items become 45, both the questionnaires should be given as appendix at the end of the research. After getting the face validity, the researcher might go to the pilot study for the purpose of reliability. The reliability might be 0.7 or above. 0.6 is acceptable value for the reliability, but according to the Hare et al. 2009, the reliability must be 0.7 or above. So to get the reliability, the researcher might go for data collection from the few persons among the population for reliability purpose, and those persons should be ignored or may not be given the questionnaire in the real study. The next step is data collection procedure, given as number 8. The researcher might show that how the data will be collected, whether the researcher will visit the targeted school to collect data to get it from the targeted population is randomly selected. So here we might write the procedure of data collection if the data is primary or the secondary, but here we might give the detail of data collection procedure. The main thing is data analysis procedure. Mostly when the students write the proposal, they ignore the data analysis procedure, which might be a great mistake. So for each and every research question, we might give the procedure for data analysis to achieve the answer for the research question. In this slide, you can see the conceptual framework as we have developed it already in the first video, the part first of the research proposal, which was made on the first chapter of the research proposal. The instruction leadership, the school effectiveness, the school culture, and demographic variables. So the research questions were given as what is the relationship between the principal's instructional leadership and school effectiveness, and for each relationship shown in the form of arrow, each research question was developed. So here in the research proposal development, while writing chapter 3, we might give the statistic or test to use to get the answer for these questions. For example, here the first question is the relationship between the instruction leadership and school effectiveness. So we might choose the test that might be helpful to find out the relationship between the variables. For example, if the data is normal or non-normal, different test is used. For example, if the data is normal, we might use the Pearson correlation, and if the data is non-normal or skewed, we might use the Spearman-Rowe correlation here. So for each question in the chapter 3, we should explain what type of statistical test will be used to achieve the answer for the research questions 1, 2, 3 or 4, etc. Thank you very much for watching the video. Your comments and feedback will be welcomed strongly. Thank you once again. Take care.